Imagine this. You are a journalist. You have just published a story that powerful people did not want published. Your phone is in your pocket. It is locked. The screen is black. You have not clicked a link. You have not opened a message. You have not done anything. And yet, at this very moment, a stranger sitting in an office thousands of kilometers away is reading every message you have ever sent. He is looking at every photograph on your phone. He is listening, in real time, to the conversation happening in the room around you. He knows where you are. He knows who you love. He knows your sources. You will never know he was there. This is not science fiction. This is a real weapon. It has a name. It is called Pegasus. And it was built, sold, and deployed, not by a superpower government, but by a small private company in Israel that has quietly become one of the most feared intelligence players on the planet. This is the story of Pegasus, the story of the spy in your pocket. To understand Pegasus, you first have to understand what makes it different from every other hacking tool that came before it. Most cyber attacks need the victim to do something. Click a link, open an email, download a file. If the victim is careful, the attack fails. This is how almost all malware has worked for the last 30 years. Pegasus is different. Pegasus is what cybersecurity researchers call a zero-click exploit. The victim does not have to do anything, not one single thing. The attacker sends a message, sometimes through iMessage, sometimes through WhatsApp. The message may not even appear on the screen. The phone receives it, processes it silently in the background, and in that single invisible moment, the attacker takes over. Once inside, Pegasus has God-level access. According to forensic analyses by Amnesty International's Security Lab and the University of Toronto's Citizen Lab, it can read messages from encrypted apps like WhatsApp and Signal. It can quietly turn on the microphone and the camera. It can pull location data, passwords, photos, emails, and browser history. And when it is done, it tries to delete itself, leaving almost no trace behind. Google's Project Zero team studied one version of this attack in December 2021. Their verdict was blunt. They called it, quote, one of the most technically sophisticated exploits we have ever seen. They said the capabilities rivaled what only a handful of nation-states were believed to possess. And yet, this tool was not built by a nation-state. It was built by a company, a private, profit-seeking, license-selling company. The company is called NSO Group. It was founded in the Israeli city of Herzliya, just north of Tel Aviv, in 2010. The name is an acronym, NSO, the first names of its three founders, Niv Karmi, Shalev Julio, and Omri Lavie. Julio and Lavie had been childhood friends. Both had served in Unit 8200, the signals intelligence unit of the Israeli military, Israel's equivalent of the American National Security Agency. The third founder, Niv Karmi, had served in Israeli military intelligence and in the Mossad. The origin of Pegasus is, in a way, almost accidental. The founders had earlier built a startup called Communitake, a tech support tool that let a customer service agent take control of a customer's phone, with permission, to fix problems. Then a European intelligence agency reached out with a question that changed everything. What if you could do this, without the customer's permission? That question was the seed. By 2011, the first working version of Pegasus existed. NSO's stated business model was respectable: sell only to governments, and only to governments approved by the Israeli Ministry of Defense, which treats Pegasus as a classified military export. NSO's public promise was this: Pegasus is a tool to catch terrorists and criminals. Pegasus saves lives. For a while, that promise held up. NSO's first known government client was Mexico in 2011. Pegasus reportedly played a role in tracking down Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, the most infamous drug lord of the 21st century. This was exactly the kind of use case NSO wanted the world to see. But even in those early years, researchers at Citizen Lab were seeing Pegasus appear on the phones of lawyers investigating human rights abuses, on the phones of journalists covering drug cartels, on the phones of family members of people killed by the state. Cecilio Pineda Birto was a Mexican freelance journalist who covered drug violence in the state of Guerrero. In early 2017, his phone number was selected for Pegasus targeting. A few weeks later, in March 2017, Cecilio Pineda was shot dead at a car wash. According to the Washington Post, at least 25 Mexican journalists were selected for Pegasus targeting in a 2-year period. A pattern was forming. On the 2nd of October 2018, a man walked into the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul, Turkey. His name was Jamal Khashoggi. He was a Washington Post columnist and a prominent critic of the Saudi government. He had gone to collect paperwork for his upcoming wedding. His fiancée was waiting for him outside. He never came out. Inside the consulate, Khashoggi was murdered by a Saudi hit team. His body was dismembered. The assassination sent shockwaves around the world. And then the question started. How had the Saudi government known so much about Khashoggi's movements, his plans, his state of mind? How had they known exactly when to act? The answers emerged in forensic reports by Citizen Lab and Amnesty International. According to the Washington Post, Pegasus had been targeted at the people closest to Khashoggi, his wife, his fiancée, a close Saudi dissident friend in Canada, and Turkish officials investigating his death. NSO Group denied any involvement, but the forensic evidence was on the record. Pegasus had been inside the phones of the people closest to Jamal Khashoggi, before he died, and after. For the first time, the story of Pegasus was no longer a story about catching criminals. It was a story about a government using software, built by a private company, to hunt the people it wanted to silence. In July 2021 came the moment that changed everything. Forbidden Stories, a Paris-based journalism nonprofit, and Amnesty International obtained a leaked list of more than 50,000 phone numbers selected for potential surveillance by NSO Group's government clients going back to 2016. They built a consortium of over 80 journalists across 17 media organizations in 10 countries, including The Washington Post, The Guardian, Le Monde, and India's The Wire. This became known as the Pegasus Project. The results, published on July 18, 2021, were devastating. On the list were at least 180 journalists across 20 countries. Also on it, 14 sitting heads of state, including French President Emmanuel Macron, Pakistan's then Prime Minister Imran Khan, and South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa. Of 67 phones forensically examined, 37 showed confirmed or attempted Pegasus infections, an 85% hit rate. The countries identified as NSO clients included Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Hungary, India, Kazakhstan, Morocco, Rwanda, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. In India, roughly 300 numbers on the list belonged to Indian citizens. The targets included 40 journalists from major news outlets, opposition leader Rahul Gandhi, sitting government ministers, Supreme Court staff, and investigators from the Central Bureau of Investigation. The Indian government refused to confirm or deny purchasing Pegasus. The Supreme Court appointed an independent technical committee. Malware was found on 5 of the 29 phones examined. The government, the Chief Justice remarked in open court, had not cooperated. The full report remains sealed to this day. Outside India, the world pushed back hard. In November 2021, the United States Department of Commerce added NSO Group to its entity list, the same blacklist used against Chinese and Russian military suppliers, effectively banning American companies from doing business with NSO. Apple sued NSO in federal court. WhatsApp, owned by Meta, had already sued NSO back in 2019 for hacking 1/400 of its users. In December 2024, a U.S. District Court judge ruled NSO liable for breaking federal and California hacking laws. Then, in May 2025, a California jury ordered NSO Group to pay WhatsApp $167 million in punitive damages. It was the first time in history that a commercial spyware company had been held legally accountable in open court. So, what is Pegasus now? NSO Group is still a company. It still employs hundreds of engineers. It still sells to approved government clients. Amnesty International confirmed new Pegasus infections on the phones of Indian journalists as recently as October 2023. The cyber arms race did not stop. But the world is different now. A tool that was built in secret, sold in secret, and used in secret has been dragged into the light by researchers at Citizen Lab, Amnesty's Security Lab, and Google's Project Zero, by the journalists of the Pegasus Project, by the 1,400 people whose phones were hacked and who chose to fight back. The deeper lesson is uncomfortable. Pegasus is not an accident. Pegasus is the logical product of a world where an entire industry of mercenary spyware vendors now exists, where former intelligence officers have realized they can sell their skills to the highest bidder, where authoritarian governments can simply buy advanced cyber capabilities off the shelf. For every NSO group whose name we know, there are others we have barely heard of. Candiru, Paragon, Citrox, Intellexa. The market is bigger, quieter, and harder to regulate than most governments are willing to admit. And the target of this market is not, mostly, terrorists. The target is the truth. The target is the journalist asking difficult questions. The target is the activist documenting abuses. The target is the lawyer building a case against the state. The target is the dissident who refuses to be silent. Jamal Khashoggi is dead. Cecilio Pineda is dead. Siddharth Varadarajan is still writing. And somewhere, right now, a phone is receiving a message it will never show its owner. A camera the user does not know is on. A microphone the user does not know is listening. The spy in the pocket. This was the story of Pegasus. It is not finished.